Fight Show Live, episode 8, brought to you by Puno Punches Apparel, 717 Surplus on Price. Joined as always by my co-host, referee, Bill Bookwalter. And sitting in the wings, we don't want to keep him too long. You might have saw him last week. He is a 2-promotion champion before he ever even stepped foot in the UFC. What was that record, Bill? I don't have it in front of me. I'm sorry.
He is 20 and 6 as a professional. 20 and 6 as a professional. 5-2.
Yeah, Duelo Gigante champion as well as this former CFFC champion. Ladies and gentlemen, coming off, like we said, an impressive, huge win. MSG from the great state of New York. Jared Gordon. Thanks for coming in, bud. We appreciate you.
Thanks for having me.
Bill, the whole reason Jared's here, do you want to give the world, let them know why he's here and how we kind of knew this? And
sure, man. I shared a cage with Jared back in 2016. He was had not yet been signed to the UFC. He was at CFFC and he head kicked Anthony Morrison and knocked him out. That was a big time Philly guy. And I saw him on his next show. He actually fought a fellow UFC vet that's fighting right now, Bill Senor Perfecto Algio, and I saw Jared pick up a win over him there too. And if you're fighting on the main card of CFFC, fighting that level of competition, you got to know you're on the radar. And here we are 10 years later, almost coming up on 10 years, another 2 or 3 yet. But Jared, how you been, man? How'd you get here?
Oh man, just like kind of how you said it, started as amateur, worked my way up to pros. Been in the UFC almost 7 years now. So,
all right. You have a pretty remarkable turnaround story. Yeah. You dealt with some addiction issues. You've been very, very open about that in a lot of media and stuff like that. What was the day? Was there a point in your life where you said, "Hey, enough is enough. I can go left, or I can go right. Left continues doing what I'm doing. If I go right, it means I put this shit away forever." And I chased the dream of mixed martial arts. How did you get to that point?
So I had my third and my last overdose on Christmas Day, 2015. I woke up in the hospital on the 26th, dope sick. And I just was like, I'm over this, I can't do it anymore. I did the whole in and out of jail, rehabs, crisis centers, psych wards, homeless shelters, panhandling. And it just was, I just had enough,
All right, so what makes you take the turn to mixed martial arts? At that point, most people would say, "Okay, I'm done with this. I'm going to go get like a regular 9-to-5 job. Work it up." What made you turn to mixed martial arts?
Well, I mean, I was already fighting at that point.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I started fighting in 2007 as an amateur. I made my way. I turned pro when I was 22. I got sober when I was 27. So I was 9-1 when at the point that I said, "All right, I'm done with this." I was already 9-1 as a pro.
Wow.
So I was like, I could keep fighting because I'm pretty good at it, or I could do some boring shit. So I was like, I'm gonna keep fighting, and that's what I did. Within a year of getting sober, I was signed to UFC. So
no kidding. See, I didn't know about that.
I was only 6 months sober at that point when I fought Anthony.
Yeah, you went pro in 2011, right? Ish.
Well,
like you said, there was a 6 year. You said there was a 6 year span where you kind of were a pro fighter and still dealing with these issues, and somehow figured a way to, I don't know, I guess balance it also, if you, at that point, with that record as a pro, did that kind of drag it out longer because you saw yourself, well, hey, I can still do both? Is that kind of like a...
I mean, I knew I wanted to fight, and like I didn't really have anything else. I only knew how to get high and fight at that point. At that point in my life, and I'm an extremist, so I was like, all right, let me, instead of being so negative and doing negative things, I'm gonna take it the other way, and I'm gonna go balls to the wall with fighting, and it worked out. It's a crazy road, but it worked out.
Yeah, I'm just thinking that addictive lifestyle. I knew how hard it was. But listen, I was 2-2 as a pro, as a fighter. I didn't have what it takes to get to the next level, and I was really trying my best to mix that kind of negativity in with professional training camps to fight. You were probably 20 to 30% of the fighter that you could actually been. That's such a huge distraction, physically, mentally, taken away from everything. To say you got the 9-1.
When I was getting high, I really wasn't training though, because I was shooting coke and heroin, so there was no functionality in the way I used drugs. So it was either I was on the street or I was in the gym. There was no in between, really. Like, yeah, if I relapsed, there would be like a couple days where I would still be in the gym, but I never was really in. I had one fight camp where I was getting high and they pulled me out of the fight. Rob Haydeck. I was cutting weight in the bathtub, and they saw my arms were all tracked up, and they were like, "Nah, you're not fighting." And no, they pulled me out. I was actually supposed to fight Bill Algeo, and they made me pull out. And I didn't fight him for a year or so after that. Just it was like 13 or 14 months later, I finally fought him.
Okay.
So I wasn't getting high really in training.
Well, I'll tell you what. Once you decided to leave all that behind and said, I'm going to put my all into the positive side of things. Could you tell me about how's it work? Could you tell me about the day you got the phone call to the UFC? Because that was obviously your goal, right? That's where you wanted to go. I mean, what's Jared Gordon do? Just sitting around in the afternoon, the phone rings and it's the UFC brass. Do they contact your camp? What is it? The first day you got there, you're like, holy shit, I made it.
I mean, wait, I'm sorry. Repeat the question again.
Okay, the day that you got called to the UFC, it was probably a day you woke up just like any other one, and that was the goal.
I was Dana White looking for a fight.
Oh, okay. So I didn't realize
looking for a fight.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought. So, no, wait a second. I checked your pro record. Okay. Your UFC fight after Bill Algeo was the Dana White Contenders, Michael Quinones, right?
No. I didn't fight in the Contenders. I went straight into UFC. So I fought on the Dana White looking for a fight show, and Dana signed me that night.
Gotcha. I remember now. Looking for a fight was different than his Contender series. That's right.
So
that was him, Dane Thomas, and Sarah.
Not Sarah. Yeah.
Previously, Nick the Tooth, and they used to go around to the regional shows before.
I remember.
They're still doing it.
Was he specifically? I've seen this go two ways because.
And we lost Bill, and Bill's back. Hold on.
Yeah, well, I was on that show before too. Were they there scoping you out, or did you impress him as he was there to check somebody else?
No. I was the main event. They were there basically for me.
Oh, okay. So you knew this is
I found out a week before.
Okay.
So I had a call one day from Rob, and he was like, "Yo, Dane is going to be there. They're going to do it looking for a fight on you." And I'm like, "All right."
Did you feel any extra pressure to? Obviously, they had to feel some pressure. You're a pretty calm guy.
Of course. I was like, "Oh shit, here we go." My wife's saying my dog's chewing my wallet, and there's pieces of $100 bills everywhere. That's great.
Yeah.
Fucking dog. Oh my God. Did he destroy it?
Yeah, he ripped $200 bills.
Nice. Turns out. Get it out of his mouth. So, anyways, fucking dog. I mean, of course, there's added pressure,
When you got out of the cage, did you feel it went the way that did you have a good feeling that I think I nailed it?
I mean, I won very, dominantly.
Soundly.
So
Yeah,
Okay.
he's one soundly at that one.
and it was a bloodbath. So I think that and we went for it, man. That Bill actually dropped me in the first round. I got up. And then from there on in, it was just me whipping his ass. But he did a good job. And now we're friends, me and Bill. He talks
Yeah,
so
yeah.
Like
me, that's massive.
if you show an example, I remember if you were to say give a young and up and coming fighter, hey, Dana White's coming to the show, this is the type of fight you need to put on. Like this is probably the type of fight you should put on if you have any hope. It was that type of fight. Like that
Yeah,
was
it
the
was
example that you give for
dude, I'm
Dana's
gonna
here.
kill
Let's
you,
put on
Pacino.
performance.
Sorry, my dog. My wife's showing me the damage.
It's all right, bro.
Hey, duct tape that. No, you duct
That's
tape
my
that.
wallet, though. That's a
or
Louis
Scotch
Vuitton
tape.
wallet.
Scotch tape, you're good, man.
Wallet. Really, you think? I don't think so, bro. This is done.
No, you can make it work, man. You can make it work.
Right. So I knew I had it done, and I mean, like, I found out 20 minutes later, yeah, we're gonna give you a shot. I'm like, all right, cool. And then it was like, oh, Jared's got no personality, because he was like, you want to do this? And I was like, yeah. What do you mean? And like, I think because a lot of these kids on the show are like, oh my God, Dana, like, let me get on my knees and blow you type of thing. I mean, if you handed me $1 million, maybe I would cry, or like you signed me to 10 and 10. So my life's not going to change. If I lose these next 2 fights, I'm gone,
Yeah.
So, but it's all worth it. He signed me because he saw some potential, and 7 years later, here I am.
Well, I'll tell you what. I was talking to Garrett.
Enough.
Oh, good. No, I was just saying. I was talking to Garrett before.
We got the lag again. Good.
Oh, I was talking to Garrett before he came in here. You really do seem like one of the more in control of your emotions guys in the UFC. Like you don't wear it one way or the other. Every time before I fought, I had 15 fights total, 4 professional, bunch of amateur fights. I felt like I was going to throw up in the back every time. Do you get?
Oh yeah, bro.
Those walking jitters? Do you still get them after all this time in the UFC?
Of course, it doesn't go away.
Yeah, but you can't tell with a guy like you. You're so calm.
I mean, what am I, I've done it a lot. I had 8 amateur fights and 27 pro fights. I had a bunch of exhibition matches, so I've competed a lot. But I just walked down Madison Square Garden. That shit was crazy.
Yeah, no. That would have to be.
I love it, man. When I'm backstage, I'm like, fuck, I don't want to do this.
I was looking forward to your traditional Flash Gordon walkout with the Flash Gordon music, and you changed up your walkout this time. I was looking forward to it.
Yeah. You gotta change it up,
Every fight's a vibe, whatever gets you alive and gets you well. But yeah, with your
how bittersweet was as you stated, for the world to know about what your grandfather fighting in the same arena. Yeah. Is there a way? I hate to put you on the spot, but like you kind of summed it up best. But like, just how surreal was that? It's a full circle moment.
Really cool shit, man. I was born in Manhattan. Grandfather fought there. I used to train at Henzo's, which is 2 blocks down from the Garden. I trained there for like 9 years or something. So I walked by it every day. I was raised in Queens, the Rangers, the Knicks. So, it's like an epic stadium. It's like, and
I get it. I was a native New Yorker, and I never fought there, but even still, just to go to an event there, the magnitude of it, there's electricity is the best way to explain it. And I can only imagine that was amplified tenfold. Like I said, coming with the full circle moment like that for you.
Yeah, it was great, bro.
Yeah, I was going to say, do you know, Jared, that you're probably 0.00001% of the human history population of everybody that's won a professional fight at Madison Square Garden? Do you know how short that list is of people who have done that? It is not many. Not many people can say, hey, You know,
Right.
or to say I won by knockout at Madison Square Garden. Like, man, that's, you know, not too many people get to say that in this lifetime.
Yeah, it's pretty dope.
And you're one of them.
Yeah, I'm blessed, man.
That's good, man.
Blessed.
Glad to hear about the turnaround. All right, now a question after the fight. I'm not gonna put you on the spot too, Beer. After the fight, they ask you guys who you want to fight next for a reason. You said top 15. I looked up the top, you know, 15 through 11 today. You got Drew Dober, Renato Moicano, Bobby Green, Jalen Turner, and Benoit Saint Denis. Now I'm telling you, as a fan, I wouldn't mind seeing you and Dober scrap. You know what you're going to get with Drew Dober. He's going to come like forward. Is there a guy that you would prefer on that list? Is there a name you feel like you stylistically match up very, very well against?
Bro, all those guys are savages.
The whole dude. You know, you should have seen 10 through number 1. It was like murderer's row, man. There's no easy outs.
Bro, I don't want to fight any of those guys, but I have to.
Yeah,
I gotta fight one of them, right? I mean, bro, I did well with Bobby Green until he headbutted me. I won that. I was winning that fight. So I mean, I know he's booked against Dan Hooker, but I would love to run that one back. Obviously, I mean, I'll fight anyone. I just want a shot at the top 15. You know, I was gonna call out Renato, but I heard he got booked.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, I was like, you know, because I don't know you too personally outside of the world of fighting. I didn't know if Jared Gordon was one of those guys that gets tossed up a name and he says, hey, let me sit down and talk it out with my team, or if he, you know, Jared Gordon's guy says just send a damn contract over. They're all killers.
Well,
you know?
I mean, top 15, I gotta say yes to anyone. So.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't know how much leeway you had in there. But.
I mean, obviously, we're still talking about it, but it's gonna be a yes because. What am I going to do? Nah, I don't want to take a top 15. Then they say, fuck you. And they put you on the back burner, you know? Okay, you don't want to fight? We're giving you an opportunity here to be top 15 and you don't want to fight. So whoever it is, I got to fight. See what happens.
All right. Turnaround time for you. You seem pretty fresh after that on Saturday. What are you thinking? Definitely first quarter of 24. We're gonna see in Vegas for International Fight Week. I know when I know it's hard with the way they stack these cards up, and the way stuff's already laid out moving forward. But it's Dana White; he's got more room to put more fights on more cards. So,
yeah, I mean, I would like to fight in the beginning of the year. Yeah, that'd be perfect. You know, holidays, maybe or February, maybe I don't know. I also got a wife. She wants to go on vacation. Thanksgiving is next week. Right? Next week? Thanksgiving?
Something like that. Yeah, I lose track as well.
Christmas. You know, so see what happens. You never know.
Well, yeah, I know distractions, you know, even if they're healthy distractions, Christmas, Thanksgiving, family, anything that distracts you from a fight camp, you know, can be, you know, you want to be focused and all that.
Yeah, so, sure.
If I could ask you, what's your favorite fight memory, man? If you could look back on this whole fight game to this moment, what's the one point that stands out? You're like, man, that was good. I won my first amateur title, or second amateur title rather, in front of my dad, and that probably sticks out better than any other one. What's Jared Gordon's favorite fight memory of his career?
Probably my UFC debut, and then last weekend.
Oh yeah,
I guess I should say last weekend now.
You think?
Because that was probably one of the biggest moments in my career for sure. Knockout, Madison Square Garden, hometown, everyone, all my friends and family there. That's probably the moment right there.
All right, good. Well, that's the reason I asked you as soon as I did off this is because I know after a fight like that, probably take a week or two off just to regather your thoughts, spend some time with your family and stuff like that, and then you'll probably be right back into the swing of another fight camp. You know, focus in again. And I didn't want to. I'm appreciative for the time you give us. I didn't want to dial in when you had like a Thursday night training or anything like that. So I'm glad I got you now.
Yeah, bro, no problem.
You got some plans? You going anywhere for the holidays, on vacation, taking the wife somewhere?
Might go to Italy. See what happens.
Yeah, people. A lot of times people don't see. Like I said, I did it on a small scale compared to what you did it on, and the sacrifice and time it takes up, and everything that gets put to the side, and the people and loved ones and family that have to deal with your ass. You know, from everything from the fight camp through injuries through weight cut and stuff. It's it's not just show up on a random night in New York and fight. There's a lot that goes into it. So, all right. Last question I got for you, man. Just looking back, when this is all said and done, what do you want Jared Gordon's legacy to be? What do you want the fans to know about you? What do you want to know about Jared Gordon?
I mean, obviously, I want to go down as great fighter, whatever, one of the best, whatever you want to say. But more importantly, I wanted to be known as a good human, someone that made an impact, positive impact.
Do you have any? I'm just picking at your brain here. Do you have anything long term after your days in the UFC are done? Do you want to give back? Do you want to open a school? Do you want to use this to propel yourself into something else?
I'll probably own a rehab, like a drug treatment center.
Okay.
Something like that. Something in that industry.
Yeah, and I can honestly say, like I said, we spoke off camera, with my wife being in the same field, like the fact that you have this platform and you're using it to try and help people, whether you want to be a role model or not, you're using the platform because there's that guy out there that could be on the same path as you were and could end up on the same path that you're on now because of combat sports and mixed martial arts. So like, kudos to you, bro, the fact that you have the path. And I got one question for you and then see what Bill wants to do. But and if anybody real quick, if Jared doesn't care, drop comments in. We usually do interactive. We wanted Jared to have his time tonight. So if anybody there's got any comments, any questions, hit Jared up real quick. We'll do a sesh before he leaves. But with the USADA exit, bro, do you have any USADA horror stories now that they're on their way out that you're like, these fucking guys showed up at 6 a.m?
Yeah, I mean, everyone has that.
Yeah, well, yeah.
5 a.m., 6 a.m. I had a good one time. I was living in Queens, and I'm like, they showed up, and I'm walking out the door. I'm like, bro, I got to go to the gym. I got to train. And he's like, I'll come on the subway with you. I'm like, all right. So he rode the subway with me all the way to Manhattan.
What's that? Let me ask you with the whole USADA thing, okay? Obviously, that was before my time. I was out of fighting before anything like that. The Pennsylvania State Athletic Commission, we would do our own thing in the night at the show. Why are these guys showing up at 5, 6 a.m.? Do they think your piss is going to be different 9 o'clock, 10 a.m. in the morning when everything's like going?
I don't know. I guess they just want to surprise you. And
that sounds like somebody trying to be a prick. There's no reason to show up at 6
in the morning.
What they do,
man. I don't know.
Well, are you looking forward to the new program that the UFC? Are you hopeful that there's going to be changes and there's not going to be as much fuckery? Dude. You don't give a shit. He's like, I'm clean, I'm good, I'm ready to
go.
Right. Yeah, like I said, you're you know what? It's you were talking about the top those 15 through 11 being killers, man. You're not an easy out yourself. You're 5-2 in your last 7. They can't be chomping at the bit to fight you either. You're not a pushover. You're not easy. Obviously, I don't want to get anybody all worked up on it. I had you winning the Pimblett fight, as I think a lot of people did.
Should be 6-1,
yeah. Yeah, Joe. The look on
you winning that fight.
Yeah, the look on Joe Rogan's face in there when they announced that shit. That's a pretty viral clip, and he's like kind of rolls his eyes and like, shit, they gave one to the Golden Boy. I thought you had that fight. I don't want to rile up any bad emotions in you or anything like that, but. That's one I'd like to see you run it back, but I don't think they would give it to you. You could derail that hate train pretty quick.
See what happens, man.
Hopefully you can get in there and hopefully next time you get in there you can tank one of these guys. And I won't ask you, but he's got a pretty tough fight there in Tony Ferguson. I know Ferguson's kind of on the downswing, but Tony's a freak show, man. So I'll be interested in tuning in that one. So, Garrett, you got any more questions or anybody in comments? I don't want to chew up all the time.
No, nobody's really left anything. I know one of your Richard D. Gordon, I guess that's one of your family members. He stopped in. He said he said more to come. Wins. Other than that, man, we appreciate your time. We're gonna let you pick up all that shredded up fight check money that you got laying on the floor over there and get that straight and maybe swing out to the wallet store and get a new one. But I know, like, again, we appreciate you, man, your journey. the fact you're using your platform for the things you're using for, and we always tune in when Jared Flash Gordon fights. So we appreciate your time, and hopefully sometime early next year we'll get the privilege of talking to you again. There'll be a number next to that name on the rankings, and we'll go from there then, I guess.
And I'll tell you what, just Jared, this is going to get posted in a bunch of groups and all that fun stuff. Anybody wants to support Jared Gordon, follow you on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. You said all the above. JaredFlashGordon.com is the website, correct? Buy any merch, buy a shirt, help Jared along, guys. All right.
Thank you.
All right, Jared. Thanks for your time, man. I appreciate it, bud.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate it.
Hey, appreciate you, boss. Thanks. Jared Gordon, everybody.
There you go, man. Good guy, wants to be remembered as a good human being. That's noble.
Like I said, I can appreciate the fact that he uses his platform for what he uses it for.
Yeah, my legacy, when people remember me, I think I want them to say, he was a good dude, but man, what a weirdo. Like, what a fucking weirdo. Your legacy is going to be the best ass in Pennsylvania mixed martial arts. That's already been spoken into existence. So I need a new legacy. That's already a given.
Brent Coleflesh, if you're watching, he's the president of Bill's Asses fan club.
Yeah, I'm on the Mount Rushmore of referee butts. It's just something, I don't know.
I cannot believe we had all these people in the stream and nobody wants to talk to Jared.
It's whatever. Hey, anybody out there going on, man? We got some more good guests, surprise guests coming up along the way. So I got stuff in the works.
It's been crazy. Like, between this and social, it's just insane. So shout out to everybody that's watching from Facebook that's kind of jumped on the Fight Show Nation here in the last couple of weeks. We appreciate you. All the guys liking and sharing the content and pushing the stuff out. And we can't put
it out there, but we can't put it out there with every name we got lined up, but we got some people coming on that you wanna tune in for, man.
Oh, Bill's the clout plug. So you just randomly mention a name, and Bill comes back with messages like, how the hell you think we got Jared Gordon here? I'm not plugged up like that. That's one of Bill's journey through this sport.
I've crossed paths with a lot of people who have grown into bigger, much, much bigger than what they were when I first met them. People who've had some visions, people who've I've seen guys, I've refed them as amateurs, and now they're, knocking down the top 15, top 10 of, their division in the UFC. And I'm like, I can sometimes hit them up on Facebook and be like, hey, remember me? And they're like, oh, Bill, what's up? Like,
well, yeah, that was the first thing Jared said when he jumped in the stream. I'm sure it's been a while since, like you said, you talked to him, but he's like, hey, you still reffing? How's that going? Like, it's the fan. There's a small part of the still fan in me that tries to stay ignorant, tries to treat it like the spectacle. Like, in my head, sometimes when you walk into an arena, like we got the opportunity to go to 247 in Pittsburgh, like, take a minute, walk into the arena, especially if you're there early, especially if you're there before showtime, and just take it in for a second, because it I don't know.
I do like Jared. I do like Jared's responses to some of them questions as far as you saw it and some of the other. Man, I don't give a shit. I like to think that's how I would be as a fighter. Either be like, yeah, let's strap these gloves on, let's go. Like, yeah. But all right, man.
No.
What else we doing? We previewing this week's UFC card, recapping last week's UFC.
Yeah, I mean, I'm still kind of just the world of combat sports is ever changing and ever rotating. Phones are going off and people are kind of just still processing.
Dude, that's why we're here. If it were predictable and straightforward, man, how boring would that be?
It'd be football.
We love the chaos. We love the twists and turns and all that fun shit. So, and hey, I do. This is just you and I bullshitting like we do offline sometimes, man. I hope Jared. I don't know if it would happen. I hope Jared gets his run back at Patty Pimblett, man. I really do.
I'd like to see him get a run back on that. Like he said, like he just said, I'd like to see him get it, run it back with Bobby Green. Who knows? And again, that's the difference that the short span of time makes, because kind of look where the trajectory where Bobby Green's headed now. And, who's to say on the way back, if something doesn't work out with a title run, that Jared can't grab that and make that right, Same thing with the Patty fight.
Obviously, Jared wants to. Jared will fight anybody. Like he said, there's you don't really get to say no. But I can tell that Bobby Green name, like, Jared's not a real emotional guy, but I can tell that Bobby Green name kind of, he perked up there a little bit. He's like, I was winning that before. Like, I can tell his heart and soul would be in that one if they gave him that run back. So,
Yeah.
Okay, so let's recap last week's UFC card, man. How crazy that was kind of wild.
Yeah, the whole.
I just felt like I was watching knockout after knockout after knockout after knockout after knockout.
What was the stat? I saw the stat. It was Derek Lewis spent more time under Alameda than the entire main card lasted at 295. Was the
I'll
stat?
tell you what, my lady and I we were watching at Aruga's here in Lancaster. It's probably my favorite setup, little spot to watch UFC pay-per-views. And we were watching everything from man, I'll tell you what, I had Jessica Andrade. I had that pegged wrong. That girl came out firing, man. She was she wanted that one big time. One by
I was a little upset with that. Didn't expect
one by
that.
finish, and then
screwed up a parlay or two.
I was pulling for Favola, man. But man, Benoit Saint Denis, how good is that guy?
Bro, can I just tell you that Game Bred boxing card, like last weekend I ended up kind of like going through and thinking about show notes and stuff, and I was like, man, that Game Bred card, like
that dude, that was different to me, man. That dude, I've never been exposed to that before in my life. Yeah, I've seen bare knuckle, I've seen mixed martial arts, I've never seen the two put together.
Again, it's much like the recent stuff that's been going on with the boxing. First of all, shout out Game Bred bare knuckle, Dean Toole, Jorge Masvidal down there. Like the production on that, being a free YouTube stream, when you got regional promotions who can't sell 500 tickets putting out pay-per-view links, you know what I'm saying, and expecting people to pay for it. You got these guys putting it out on YouTube for the world to see, and I'm assuming that's going to be the model going forward until something changes. But that card top to bottom was great. And I don't know, man. The first couple went quick. Kind of watching, you're like, oh, okay, this is what this is. It's going to be quicker because but them last few fights, and then watching, shout out to Alan Belcher, but Roy Nelson got robbed, and good thing to see. I saw later in the week, Dean, the guys from Game Bred released a statement. They were kind of unhappy with Mississippi, but they backed Mississippi, so they want to keep working with Mississippi. Are you frozen? Are you there? I think you're frozen. I'm just talking to myself. It's all right. We're live. It doesn't. At least once a week. Come out and come back in. I guess while Bill's there, we'll start looking at what happened last. Yeah, right. Hey, Josh, what's up? Appreciate you, man. I'll send you the link. You want to jump on until he gets back? What's up, buddy? Thanks for stopping in. Tom Biesecker, if you're still watching, you already know what my legacy is. And there's Bill. There he is.
I'm always coming back. It never fails.
Once a week, bro.
Stupid.
Josh
brother.
Grant, where are you at, bro? It's 7:30. You should have
brother.
been here at 7. You missed Jared Flash Gordon, bro. It's a good interview. You can watch it later. Oh, man. Let's take a look at this here. I'm going to get us off the screen because nobody wants to stare at us any longer than they fucking have to. Christy with Tech Sports, somebody called him. All right.
Yeah.
Allen versus Craig. Well, let's just go back here. Let's just go back. Again, UFC.com. We'll go back and we'll run it through real quick. 34 minutes.
Oh, yeah, all kinds of good stuff.
We'll go back. Shout out to this guy right here, Jared Gordon, for joining us tonight. He was just on with us. He was telling us off air. We didn't get into it. I kind of wanted to for everybody's sake, but basically said he hit him to the body, and he felt something. He saw something and kind of reacted to it, and ended up with a knockout. 442.
Yeah, Jared's gritty, man. All right,
that fight. Yeah, go ahead. We're
now Sadikov versus Borshev. Yeah, man, those guys were winging on each other. Depending on how you had first round, most people do feel that Borshev won the first round. They gave Sadikov a 10-8 in the second. And then they feel that Borshev won the third for a draw.
Yeah, that ended up as a draw. And I was actually pulling. Oof, here we go. I was actually pulling for what do they call him? Slava Claus. I actually just watched him last week. I hadn't watched him fight yet because as we discussed in previous episodes that there's just so much content you can't get into it all, and there's not enough time for everything. So
you know what? I've seen a couple of his fights before. I don't remember him throwing with so much intent as he did this fight. Everything was hard, like the punches and he was throwing. They were meant to finish and hurt. They weren't sparring punches. You know. I got the referee Sadikov when he was an amateur down at the 2300 Arena in Philadelphia, and this guy as an amateur was knocking people cold. I'm talking like face plant, like, you know, arms by the side type shit. So I thought Sadikov would have got that. I was actually showering when I got home from work, and when I came down, Christy had told me, she said that he almost finished him. So I didn't get to see that. I was pulling for Sadikov. You know, he was one of the Philadelphia boys. I believe he was training with a fight camp called K Dojo at the time. Bunch of Russian guys, real top-notch, tough guys. So, yeah, Rebecca, man, oh my God, what a little fire hydrant that guy is. Did you see that fight?
Yeah, that was insane. I caught probably the last minute and a half of it. I was like, oh, okay, I didn't miss this one. I wanted to watch this one.
I'll tell you what, man, that guy, he seems undersized on every level. And they just like, what's that thing? I'm coming at you like a spider monkey. That guy was just like,
shit, I looked away from the screen for 2 minutes. Hold on. Let me get on here, buddy Josh. We'll digress. We got time and there's nothing going on, and I like when we talk to people on the show.
No, that's good. No question. I'll put on my matchmaker hat here for a second. No question. If I can put together John Jones, Tom Aspinall, when is the last time? I mean, I'm not remembering the whole time where these are two elite heavyweight fighters. People love the heavyweights. They just do. You're almost guaranteed, not always, but you're almost guaranteed to finish. John Jones, Tom Aspinall is the next fight you make. If I've seen one guy in the last 10 years of this that I thought had an honest chance against John Jones, I mean, an honest chance, it's Tom Aspinall. Yeah, you don't throw out there. That's a big money fight for Dana White and company. You don't throw that out there. You know, some fluke happens and Aspinall hurts his leg, or, you know, John Jones gets beat or something like that. Then you lose your mega $1 million fight. Tom Aspinall versus John Jones is absolutely next. Garrett, what do you think?
Here's the deal.
Depending on the injury.
There's not. Well, yeah. There's so many. You got a new testing program started. We don't know how that is. I'm assuming it's probably still going to run on the same 6 months kind of thing USADA was running, or something similar. Who knows? He might bring back TRT Belford. Dana might come out with him at a press conference and it might be all over. It's hard to tell, but from what I've seen and what they're laying out the framework, I think they just want to kind of have the USADA program not copied, have their own version of the USADA program that's more, you know, as we talked about with Jared. I wanted to hear some insane ass story about some guy like looking at his dick while he was pissing in the cup. Like I want to hear some insane stuff. I mean,
that happened. He just didn't tell you about it.
Yeah, probably. I didn't want to. I mean, here's the deal: Aspinall Jones unification bout in London sells more everywhere. Does a higher pay-per-view than a Stipe John whatever in Cleveland, in Vegas, in the Sphere.
I'll tell you what. If I'm Dana White and I can talk to Tom Aspinall after that win, and I say, hey, we're going to line you up against John Jones. Could you start talking some shit? Could you be a little bit more disrespectful, just as the character?
Yeah, but do you want to have? My thought was, and I posted this the other day, keep Aspinall has an interim title. Keep him busy. He is a stud, Josh, if he's that much of a stud, which we all kind of know he is.
I'll tell you what.
I would rather see him take an L over the course of the next year and get the title back before Jones is even back and able to go,
I
than
don't.
having Tom Aspinall miss out on a prime year of his life when he could be competing, cementing his legacy, creating highlights, making money, securing the bag, however you want to frame. Like, the guy's in the prime. Like, don't sit him a year. I would like to see the division keep moving.
Okay, now this depends. This depends on the injury timeline, and this is what I mean. Okay, if you the only other viable answer is probably Cyril Gahn. Okay, if you put Tom Aspinall in there against Cyril Gahn, and Cyril Gahn somehow wins, you really want to watch Cyril Gahn versus John Jones again? How do I sell that as a promoter? And yeah, I mean, Tom Aspinall could win, but like, I'm taking all the risk and I'm not cashing in on everything that I worked for as far as being a promoter. You know what I'm saying? I can't sell. John Jones won that fight so easily. There's no reason to think the next one wouldn't go exactly the same way. I can't risk Tom Aspinall taking a loss to Cyril Gahn. So what else do I do with that? Put on your promoter hat. What else do I do with it?
I can't. You ask me these questions and we're live on the internet, and I'm just glad that I have time to stutter and go to something else, because I have the hardest time. And again, everything that I have done in this business compared to people like Ryan Middleton from 247, who we've had on, Mike Pope, like every facet I've been in has been like a toe dip in the deep end. In the shallow end, of like the MMA pool. I've promoted, I've helped manage, I've helped matchmake, I've helped with cage crew, I've helped with security. Like anything besides referee and judge, I pretty much have kind of been tutored along the way, or tagged along for this, or learned this, or kind of just figured it. So I'm not objective when it comes to that, because like the fan in me wants, fuck that. Give Stipe a shot. He don't have many, like, let him cement his legacy. But the promoter in me is like, Tom Aspinall versus John Jones in London. Like it.
Here's the thing. I did see an interview where Dana White said, for respect to the legacies, you do John Jones, Stipe Miocic next. But it's
Dana White said women will never fight in the UFC. We don't.
Yeah.
We already know Dana will say what the fuck is on his mind.
Cards
he is sometimes wrong, and he is everything Dana says is subject to change. And just I'm glad we're kind of on. Actually, I'm glad I ranted about this, because like my reverse ref rant that you do, when Dana White says, don't you talk about Uncle Dana that way, Josh? When Dana White says slap fighting is a $450 million business, listen to how he talks about it. Dana White will go out and tell you what a gate sold at the UFC and it set this record and that record. When Dana White says slap fighting is a $450 million business, let me explain to you why. The app, the minute I got on the other day because my son was playing with it. I said, let me look around at this. I'm going to see what it's all about. 1 million+ downloads just on Android store. I don't know what it did on the iPhone store. If any of you fans have an iPhone, look at the Slap Fight app and let me know in the comments how many downloads it's got. But it's got 1 million+ on Android. As soon as you walk into this thing, I wouldn't say you're barraged with ads, but at any point where you need to make a change in your little journey on the game, there's an ad. Oh, you want to get rich quicker? Here's $1,400. Hit an ad. You want to do this? Hit an ad. You want to, you can sit there and play consistently without an ad, but if you want to make any moves from the course, like deviate, that's where that $450 million is coming in. Because let me tell you what, say the average person who doesn't spend money on games like me, I'll get on and play. I was inclined to spend the $20 to buy the pack to stop the ads. There's 20 mil right there. Okay, I'm not saying everybody's going to do that, but for everybody like me that's not willing to spend money on games that was considering spending $20, there's these people that spend 20, 30, 40, 50 because it's their hobby and they like to do that, and that's whatever. But I can see where this whole slap fighting as a business is a $450 million business, but there is so many pieces and revenue streams coming in for slap fighting. I can literally see, so I'm kind of glad we talked about that, because I thought about that and a light bulb kind of just went off the other day.
Like I said, to each their own. I'm not into this slap fighting thing at all. It just hasn't gripped me. It hasn't. Is this popular?
I haven't watched it.
Is this popular? Are people into this?
It's a $450 million business according to Dana. So, so I
Do
don't
you-
know. I could see where the revenue's coming from. I
Do you
mean,
know-
the Rumble
do you-
deal.
Do you know an MMA fan that can name one guy? Can you name
No, I
one
don't.
slap
And
fighter?
I'm not. I don't know. I got a guy with red hair. It looks like he's cooking meth in a fucking trailer park. I don't know anybody that does it. That's what my character looks like. That's how it kind of came. I added some hair. That was the end of it. Like I don't. My foray into it was strictly out of curiosity, and as soon as I saw the interface and how it worked and how they, I'm like, oh, this is where they're making their money.
Well, I saw on one of those press conferences that Dana White was given, you know, he's hyping the numbers, doing whatever. He's like, oh, it was the, you know, something viewership. We're out doing this, out doing that. It's not something my friends and I talk about at work, you know, and they're combat sports fans. We all talk UFC the Monday after a pay-per-view. You know, we talk mixed martial arts, UFC. Not me or one of my friends or anybody I'm associated with, I don't think could name a single slap fighter that's, you know, on the roster. I'm not saying it's not popular. I'm not saying it's not a $450 million business. I'm just, I haven't heard anybody talk about it.
When you hear him say, here's the deal with Dana, like I said, people have Josh, and this is directed at you, that you got the haters out there. The man is a good businessman. The man is a hustler. Like you can't, fighter pay. You can bring up any argument you want. What he has done, like you can't. And then so to sit there and slap boxing is. I have all the faith in the world. I might never watch it. I probably won't. I don't care about it. I know that Dana White said, "Oh, I'm going to do slap fighting. It's going to be successful, and this is how we're going to do it." And he's already established enough, and he's already got the fuck you money and the connections where he can afford to go. Same way Don Davis with the PFL. The guys that are back in the PFL can afford to go 20 million in debt.
I'll tell you what. Hey. I'll tell you what, man. I'm not saying just because I'm not into something nobody is, but if this is what people are watching now and this is what they enjoy, more power to it. I don't see how it's staying afloat. I don't see how it's going to be around 2 or 3 years from now. But if you guys want to sit around and watch grown men slap each other, the masses that are out there, and you guys are supporting this business, Godspeed, man.
I mean, here's the deal. Everything's got a lane. Everything doesn't have to be in a box. That's the problem with everything nowadays is everybody's got an opinion and everything's a box. And if your shit differs from my shit, I'm not supposed to like you. No. I mean, I'll say it on the internet. I'm friends with people that voted for Joe Biden. That doesn't mean.
Yeah, I don't care, dude. Yeah, that's not a thing. I don't even care. Yeah, he's a little quirky. I mean, we will turn into a podcast.
It is what it is. It's like the same thing with people getting pissed off about beer. Like I posted a bunch of memes in the shit groups and got people running off at the trap. You got a lot of time to be obsessed with beer. And I'm like, no, I think it's stupid. I think it's dumb. I don't drink beer. I'm not a beer drinker. I don't have a beer. It's not like I've ever tasted. It's Bud Light and it's beer. I don't like beer. It all tastes the fucking same to me.
Listen,
I don't care where that company puts their advertising money. I don't care who they back. Cool, they back the UFC. It's just another logo on a cage.
You get a good laugh at Christy out on this one. People, if anybody ever said to me, if they're like, "Oh, you got a lot of time to worry about beer," no, I have no time to worry about beer. I have a lot of time to fuck with you though. And if Bud Light is my medium to get me there to get you upset and pissed off about your day, let's ride. I don't care.
Here's
about
the
beer.
deal. My current little hustle situation. I have free time. I'm afforded the luxury in the business I'm in to be my own boss and have free time. So where I can start a podcast or troll motherfuckers on Facebook endlessly. I got time. You know what I'm saying? You could take your miserable fucking opinion and shove it up your ass. I do try and bring, and to those, if there's anybody watching, you know, I appreciate the support we've been getting because there's a lot of people that are just, we spend a lot of time in these shit rooms. And there's a lot of guys, especially some of the guys, you know, Dan, Leo, some of the guys that have stopped in the show, Chris Blancato.
I'll tell you what,
this guy checking in from YouTube right here, for sure. But there's so much shit and negativity that to just sit here and have a good conversation, people want that, and that's what we're trying to accomplish. And just because we voted different or whatever, That's why we're here.
Well, I'm trying to read this guy. I understand what Brother Bill is saying, but to bring some context to the conversation, boxing aficionados said the same thing about MMA and stuff. No. I'm saying, I get it with the whole slap boxing thing, man. If that's people's thing, it's just not my thing. You know what I mean? I believe that's what he's referring to.
No, it's
I hope he's signing
people
back.
said the same thing about MMA, even without if you weren't a boxing fan, when the MMA it was human cockfighting. You know what I'm saying?
Listen, to the guy who just commented. Is this
Ty,
big?
yeah, shout out Ty. What's up, bud?
Okay, is this bigger than I realize? Are people into this? Just because my circle doesn't talk about it doesn't mean it's not out there. Is this more popular than I realize?
It's organically out there. I mean, I'm not.
No. But is it popular? Are people like I couldn't name?
It's
you
organically
one
out
guy.
there, so I'm catching it in my feed organically from different people having interest and liking and commenting and kind of interacting with it the same way. Again, there's a certain segment of the population in 2023 with the ESPN deal and everything else that still think we're a bunch of fucking sick weirdos that like violence. Like it's not.
Well, but that's just
we're 30 years into the UFC, and there's still people that refer to it as human cockfighting, and I'm like.
Well, that's what I'm saying is like, I don't know. I'm just asking. Apparently, this thing is still on TV. It's got a TV deal.
It's on Rumble.
Oh, okay.
There was some TBS. We've been going on for 15 minutes about fucking slap fighting. Here we go. Promo Dana. No, it had a TBS or something, and then there was something I saw on PR Newswire about some like it's strictly business, like not fan related at all. It was like PR Newswire put something out about TBS in a press release. I don't know, but last time Dana promoted it, he just promoted it on Rumble. I don't know how long the TBS thing went on. I could look it up. I don't spend too much time on slap fighting tonight.
Yeah. If people are enjoying it, whatever it is, Bud Light, slap boxing, whatever, man. Yeah. Yeah, man. Like, if that's okay. If there's a following for it, you know what? Maybe I'll tune in for an episode or two. Let me see what the hell this is all about. Maybe I haven't given it a fair shot.
I can tell you again too with the game. The game, if you don't, like me, never watched an episode of slap fighting, understand the concept, whatever. You get into the game, and the way they did the interface, it's like, oh, you're going to play the game, you're going to drop $20-$30, put $20-$30 in their pocket with the app, and then at some point, you're going to turn that into viewership, and then that coupled with all the ad space they're selling, like that's where, like I said, that's where the 450 comes in. But I feel confident enough I can tune in right now and know what's going on.
All right.
Whereas somebody who's never watched any jiu-jitsu, somebody who's maybe a boxing fan who has been living under a rock for the last 30 years, tunes in for their first MMA fight, there's gonna be foreign elements to them. Why is he doing it that way? He should be doing it this way. So who's to say that there's not some big Dana White master plan going on with this to bring more viewership? But either way, the plan's to make money. He's making money off of it. I can see how it translates. The ESPN deal helped with viewership. It definitely brought it as close to mainstream as we've ever been. So
is Rumble a cable channel? Is that an app? Or
is that not? I feel like if you're in the comments and you know what it is, I feel like Rumble.
I want to check out that
one of these alternative, like, how you can broadcast events on Twitter now, or like Jorge broadcast off of YouTube with Game Bread. I'm thinking Rumble. I know about it. I feel like it's a paid platform like Patreon. We're gonna look at. You know what? You learn something new every day.
No, because I want to catch an episode. If they, I'm a combat sports guy. I'm a one-on-one, mono type guy. If this,
now that I think about it, I might have been completely wrong. It's basically in my head, I was thinking, Truth Social is the one that, it's like the non-censored Facebook, whatever. That's Truth Social. That was Trump's like social media platform. This is like, looking at the interface now, this is like a non-censored YouTube. So here we got slap. Okay. I mean, just off, this is the only place you're watching it other than clips. 3 days ago, 18,000 views. It's got some views.
Okay,
Road to the Title season 2 up. There's the Ultimate Fighter Dana White Contender Series version for Power Slap. That's got 233,000 views in 3 days.
All right. I feel like I was I feel like we're doing the grandpa grandson. I'm like,
Oh,
what?
here we go. Look, here we go. Boom, boom. If I had little bells and whistles, I'd hit them up for Ty.
Oh man, I like without the censorship. I get banned from everything, every social media platform.
Yeah, I don't know how our mouth hasn't got me a strike yet, but
oh my
as long
gosh,
as we don't play music, I think we're good.
You haven't even said it. Like you haven't said anything bad. Like
According to Facebook.
I say some off-color shit here and there.
I was talking. Shout out to Brian Crandall, Geese for GIs. If you guys have any old geese to donate, shout out to him. I was talking to him on Facebook, geeseforgis.com. I think you can Google it.
No, hey, wait. I'm glad you brought that up.
He got binged for talking to somebody about jiu-jitsu and about him choking somebody, and Facebook dinged him for that.
Facebook is so weak, man. It's
yeah,
so
man, it's
God. Facebook is so cuck. Put that way. It's Jesus Christ. No, I'm glad you mentioned about the guy with the gi, man. I got one. I got one for the vets. I do.
Yeah, I linked up with Brian. I linked up with Brian a couple years back. When I had my Project Takedown, my veterans initiative my initiative for veterans with PTSD, I saw a I don't think I've ever talked about this one here. Saw an interview with Ross Pearson. Remember Ross Pearson? I saw an interview with Ross Pearson or an article where he was doing some hands-on stuff with some vets out in California when he was still out there training, and just started looking through my phone, making phone calls, and at one point we had 30-something schools across like 15 different states that said, hey, if we can get this network going, we'd accept vets, and worked with a few. Shout out Tom DeBlas. That's how I got linked up with Tom DeBlas. He agreed to host some, but he's got this bully program now, and he's always been involved in the. Now,
Tommy's cool. Tommy's cool, dude. I refereed him at Bellator against some guy named Mike Witzel back in Atlantic City a couple of years back. So I remember Tom. Tom's good, dude.
Yeah, he's got a new bully program that I'm following on social media that I really, really like. He's been an active supporter of police and jiu-jitsu, and Tom's just a stand-up fucking dude all around. I talked to Tom one time and I felt better leaving the conversation. He's just that dude.
Yeah, Tom's good.
We spoke on the phone and stuff, and he even agreed to host some vets, and we worked with some vets when I had my gym space here, and just sitting there listening to the guys' stories and hearing, it was a cool experience. But yeah, no, so I don't even remember where we were going with that. You know me, I don't tell a story straight. It's all good.
What are we doing? Let's preview this week's. We got a smaller UFC card coming up this weekend, and then I feel like we got another big one coming up. Oh, mid-December, man! Mid-December is going to be great.
Still a good card.
Oh, we didn't even do a quick rundown. Scroll up. Yeah. Frivola, he's. Oh wait, let's start with the main card. Diego Lopez. Yeah. That was the one we kind of called that on the show. I kind of thought, when Sabatini,
I wouldn't say you called it because we support all PA fighters. If you're PA MMA, we support you 100%. But there's two paths that everybody could usually end up doing, and
here's
the path that one of the options you gave him.
Here's the deal: the KO to Damon Jackson that Sabatini lost. That I'm not Nostradamus here. I don't think there's anybody on this planet who would say Damon Jackson is more dangerous on the feet than Diego Lopez.
Yeah.
Diego Lopez is a savage. He came in such good shape. He's so rangy. His jiu-jitsu is good. That was a tough fight for Pat. If Pat could have got on top and grounded a little bit, but I had a feeling if Damon Jackson got the better of Pat on the feet, Diego Lopez, I had a feeling that one might go that way.
For anybody keeping track, you're now 3-0. For our PA MMA guys, you give them look. If you're a PA MMA fighter, and Bill covers your shit on this show, he's going to give you two ways you can go with the fight. You just make sure you go the way that makes sense for you. He's 3-0. If you're a PA fighter, just listen to Bill's path to victory.
It's
maybe who knows when we get this new sponsors, new stuff. We got stuff brewing, guys. Maybe Bill's path to victory. New segment. I think we just birthed it right here on the air live.
I'll tell you what, these big, huge athletic strikers, Your Michelle Pereira versus Andre Petrosky. Your Diego Lopez versus Pat Sabatini. You're like these big athletic strikers. The game has changed. I come from a generation where you could take somebody down, and if they didn't know jiu-jitsu or they didn't know a top game, you could get your win. These days, these guys are so good at every fucking thing. If they know they have, if they feel they have an advantage standing on the feet against you, they're just not going to let you take them down. You know what I mean? Or if you get a takedown, they're going to get right the hell back up, and that's kind of what happened in the Lopez Sabatini fight. So, but the one above that, let's move on because
What's up?
Pat's my
Matt,
guy, man. You know.
Shout out to Matt, one of our Facebook supporters, Fight Show Nation. We appreciate you, bro. You're late. Come back through. It'll be up. It might take a little while, but you can watch the first like 20, 30 with Jared Gordon. He was here, but we appreciate you stopping in nonetheless, bro. Appreciate you, and I'll talk to you later. We'll run into each other somewheres on some post, some fuckery post somewheres. Appreciate you, dude.
Yeah, Frivola versus Saint Denis, man. How good? I don't know if you saw that fight. How good is Saint Denis, man? That guy is. That guy's pretty phenomenal, man.
Again, with everything, with all the content that I consume, again, self-admitted, I'm not an MMA expert. I got a fucking cheat sheet screen right here next to me. If I need to look shit up, I'll be the Jamie from Joe Rogan anytime, and I'm not afraid to admit it. I think I saw him fight once, twice. Hold on, I'm trying to remember. Just to be accurate. I don't want to say shit on the internet and it's not true.
I believe
I watched him fight. It would have had to have been. Maybe it was that fight, which would have been his debut. Haven't watched him fight since. Was impressed by him in the cage. And then actually just last night, just trying to keep up to date with stuff, I watched a real good interview with him on the MMA Hour with Helwani. And he's got a fan now. I'm like, okay, when he fights, I'm gonna tune in.
Listen, completely. You can't not. Did it just real quick? Flashback to that screen. Has anybody gone the distance with him?
Hold on, we'll go back here. I love having this fucking website right here.
I'm assuming they have, but has anybody gone the distance? Has he decisioned anybody?
I feel like, yeah.
Okay, Dos Santos
lost to Dos Santos. Well, yeah, no, that was that first fight I watched. Yeah, that was his UFC debut. So yeah, that's his decision, and he's finished. I believe everybody since then. Yeah, he's on a tear, man.
Yeah, I guess he just decided that tasted like ass, and he doesn't like that taste, and he's just not gonna do that again.
And I made a meme this week, and it seemed to go over pretty well. But is it just me, or does Frivola look like Conor McGregor and Jorge Masvidal had a baby? Anyways,
Matt Frivola, another really, really cool guy, man. You could tell that guy's a lot of fun. Steamroller, Matt Frivola. Let me.
Where are we going here? Hold on.
Let me work my magic. Matt Frivola seems like he'd be a pretty cool guy to shoot 20 minutes with. So
yeah,
let me see what I can do.
Talk with anybody. All right, we're back in here now.
Okay.
Back here because everything's being fucking clunky. Everybody, thanks for tuning in. If you got a question, I didn't see the head kick. Expected something from his guard. Matt Benson. While I'm doing this, Bill, here. Matt Benson had something to say as soon as it pops up here.
I did listen, Matt. I didn't see the head kick coming either. Frivola left that exchange kind of with his head and chin up in the air. I don't think he was expecting the kick to come at him, and it just whacked him.
Well, I think if I remember correctly in that interview, Saint Denis said he saw. I think it was more or less he had a look on something, and I think did he throw it up once or maybe feinted it once or twice previous.
Mm-hmm.
So he was setting that up for a little while. I think it was just something he saw in there that maybe we didn't see.
Yeah, Frivola was leaving an exchange, very, very calm. You know, he didn't seem panicked. And Denis threw it like it's almost one of those where two guys separate, they reset, and then they both kind of
hit start at the same time. Yeah,
visually agree. Okay, we just rested for a second. Now we're going to engage again. Well, as Frivola was on the way out, but Denis threw this head kick. It seemed like it blindsided Matt. Caught me by surprise too. You know, it was
Dern.
Andre. Yeah. Everybody's Everybody's favorite sweetheart of the she's
If
so
my wife was ever to have a girlfriend, it would be Mackenzie Dern. That's all I'm saying. Anyways,
so nice,
in
so
either
polite. She's a
accent,
sweetheart.
she can bring whatever accent she wanted to. She can, she can be, you know what? Let me tell you a story about broken parlays.
Broke my
Two
parlay.
stories. One, the next bet. I don't know if you saw that, Bill. I did an all dog. Never in the history of the UFC has it happened. I put $1 on an all dog
Probably
parlay for the
slated
next
to win back 18,000.
$1 million. If I hit all 12 legs in this parlay, shit's gonna significantly increase on this show.
$1 million to 1. Yeah.
No, you want to talk about parlays, Matt? I had a $13,000 parlay going into the fight where Shevchenko tapped against Grasso, and I literally was in my head going, well, tomorrow morning I'm going to get up at 8 a.m. and I'm going to cash this money out, and I'm going to go to the bank, and I'm going to get about $6,000 out, and I'm going to go do like the money was already being spent in my head, and then $13,000 parlay. Who would have, if you would have told me, well, if you would have told me Valentina Shevchenko could lose, I wouldn't have put the money on it. Yeah.
What else?
Bill knows all about broken parlays, Christy said. How many times have you seen him rage smash his phone because of a fucked up parlay?
Why do you think I'm banned from most social media sites? It's because
you just came off restriction, so you need to behave for a little bit.
Yeah, I go in these people's Twitters and I'm like, you motherfucker.
I can care less. I behave. Look, I engage. If you want to be an asshole, I'll just beat you to death with fucking gifts till you go away. And if you really want to be an asshole, I'll just block you. Like, I make money off social media. I'm not the people that people like Matt Benson, who I genuinely like. Those are the people that I, through this whole journey, and you know, we hit 25 million this month with content. So shout out to us, 25 million. Not us specifically, but my profile hit 25 million. Our content's part of it. You know, you meet people like Matt Benson who just want to have a decent conversation, who are tired of being called casuals, and that is a fucking word I've grown to hate in these shit groups. But you know, people like Daryl, we got fans over in Ireland that watch the show. You know, check it out when they can. People like Josh, who I've known forever. So like we just appreciate good conversation, and that's why, you know, it's the best hang in combat sports.
Here we go. I'll get a little loose in the groups here. If you're in any of those groups and you call somebody a casual, you are a cuck boy and a half. You are a fucking cuck boy. If I hear somebody, oh, you're a casual, it means you found out about MMA when Conor McGregor was coming on the scene, and you've been a fan ever since, and like your whole life revolves around it, and blah 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 blah. Yeah, if you call somebody a casual, you're an absolute cuck boy, and that's from somebody who's refereeing the UFC, been at the highest level. Don't call people casuals. That's fucking so stupid. I
some guy called me a casual the other day, and he was calling them umpires. I'm like, I've had people, in the history of anything has anyone called a fucking zebra. Well, they're not even zebras in the UFC, but anybody called a ref an umpire.
I've officiated in the UFC, World Series of Fighting, PFL, LFA multiple times, and I have people call me casual. And man, shut the fuck up, fucking fuck ass cuck boy. Anyway, that's a little sidebar referent, but. But
I like I said, these guys. So shout out again to these fight. We got a Fight Show Nation now. We're international. Our buddy Daryl tunes in from Northern Ireland.
Very nice.
Matt's he's from Leo's a PA guy as well. Like Daniel Work. I think he is somewhere's not in this country, and we appreciate you. So he might not be on now because he might be sleeping. Who knows?
We're getting invited to sit cage sides at events, and we're having UFC fighters on the show. Are we media?
We're media. We got to embrace it now, Ryan from Ryan, and shout out to anybody watching or anybody tuning in from Pittsburgh. Bill can't make it. I will be in there early. We're coming down to the 247 show. Ryan Middleton was our guest last week. If you haven't checked that show out, go to the events page of my profile, and they were all there. Fight Show 1 through 7. Ryan Middleton for 247. Shout out to him. They're putting together a great card. It looks good. I'm excited to go out.
Bill, yeah, I guess for media, that's weird.
Yeah, so Bill can't make it, but I'll be out there. So any Pittsburgh fans that want to link up, show us the town or whatever, I will be up there early with my brother. We are coming to hang out and see Yins out in Pittsburgh December 16th for the 247 card. Little impromptu birthday party. Who knows? Maybe we'll trash a hotel room and set some shit on fire. Anyways,
let's keep it moving. Yeah. What'd you think of Aspinall Pavlovich? What'd you think of that?
Well deserved. I think the story again, I'm having trouble putting my promoter hat on or my fan hat. Like it's Tom
Listen,
Aspinall is.
I'm just going to double back to it just for a second. I like Stipe Miocic. I do. He's been working as a full-time firefighter for the last 2 years. He's really not in the mix. He hasn't fought in a while. John Jones Aspinall is the fight to make. I appreciate Stipe's legacy. He's one of the best heavyweights to ever do it. But that big heavyweight main event
Oh
title
shit!
buzz.
Hold on, showstopper. Because one of the homies, one of the Fight Show Nation that supported us from the beginning, we appreciate you, Matt Benson. This one's going to you, Bill.
Okay.
As a former referee, this young man's such a big fan. He wants to get involved. He's super fascinated with that side. And real quick, Matt, that's like my journey took me through promoting and an amateur career that got derailed by injury and promoting and management and all that fun stuff. So like I fully get that, bro. Anytime you want to sit down and have a brain picking conversation, you know how to get a hold of me. But Bill went that route. Bill fought. Bill was a professional fighter here in the state of Pennsylvania, amateur and pro, and then went the route of referee. So Matt Benson, this dude right here is a good dude to link up with, a good resource. Any questions? He's always here to help the next generation of people coming up in the sport.
Matt, my inbox is always open, man. Shoot me any questions. I'll be as honest as I can with you about the whole business.
Matt, I'll go ahead and I'll get a group thread started because I don't know. Sending friend requests and stuff is weird if you don't know people. Mm-hmm. Matt's one of the people that's a follower to my page, but I would definitely consider having him on my friends list because he's, like I said, super supportive of everything we do, everything I do, anyways, on social. So Matt, I'll start a group. Look for a group message. If I can add you, we'll get it figured out. Get with me on social. Shoot me a message if you can, and I'll get you linked up with Bill. Pick his brain. Do what you're doing. Yep. And again, we appreciate you, bro.
I'll be as honest as I can about the whole business. So, all right, let's scroll. What was that main event?
Yeah.
What was that main event? Man, I'll tell you what. I was looking at something online today, and I saw Alex Pereira's resume and the short time that he's been in the UFC. Holy shit, dude! This guy's beat like 5 former champions. He's been a champion in 2 weight classes. I mean, the guy has 7 fights in the UFC total.
Yeah.
He might not be the greatest grappler. Yeah, you could probably put him in there against a pretty sharp, brown or black belt, and they might submit him. Same thing with Brock Lesnar. If you stood him in there with the best strikers in UFC heavyweight history, he's not going to win a single fight. Alex Pereira's resume for the 7 fights that he's been in the UFC, for his background in kickboxing, this is one of the greatest combat sports athletes you've ever seen. And I don't think people are taking the time to appreciate him. They're just like, oh, well, yeah, he can't wrestle. He is not an elite level wrestler. I will admit that. But the fact Brock Lesnar came in and won the UFC heavyweight title in his 2nd fight, he's beaten the top guy. No matter how you want to slice it, whether you like it, whether you don't, it's an impressive feat. Alex Pereira
it kind of echoes the Francis thing. You had all these boxing.
Yeah.
Oh, he's never had a professional fight. He hasn't what?
Yeah, well,
Alex Pereira, before he won the title, was just inducted into the Glory Hall of Fame.
Well,
something. There's only 3 people in it.
That's like the thing. They were interviewing that Alexander Usyk on his way out after the Tyson Fury, Francis Ngannou fight, and they said, "Oh, an MMA guy just took Francis Ngannou, blah blah blah," and
or Tyson Fury took him to school, yeah.
With Usyk's minimal, English ability, he said, "World champion MMA." This is not like some guy that doesn't know what the fuck he's doing or would be lost. I don't think the average wrestler, maybe an Olympian, but the average wrestler, I don't think could just walk up, take Alex Pereira down. Like, oh, I could beat Alex Pereira's ass. No, Alex Pereira would beat the dog shit out of you. He's what he's done. His resume is is phenomenal. So this is one of the greatest sports combat athletes you've ever seen. So hopefully, even though he's only had 7 fights in the UFC, take some time to appreciate what the hell it is you're looking at.
Insane. It is insane. There's new goats coming up every day. The next goat's coming up now.
What do you think about Deontay Wilder? MMA rumors. Why not? Listen, Tyson Fury seems to have his number. Besides Deontay Wilder versus Joshua or Anthony Joshua is okay, whatever. He's a boxer. He boxes. Deontay Wilder versus, Tyson Fury again. They already fought twice. Whatever. Maybe I see the highlights on YouTube tomorrow. Deontay Wilder fighting Nate Diaz in MMA. I'm in. Like, I will be glued to the TV. Like, I want to see what the hell. I want to see how the hell, what goes on. Now, obviously, he's a heavyweight and Nate's a hell of a lot lighter. But Deontay Wilder seems interested in mixed martial arts. I'm interested in watching him.
He's training already. He's doing some. The soundbite is he's already training MMA, which that's the soundbite. It sounds kind of stupid, but what is he training? Is he training striking for MMA? Because striking for MMA is significantly different than striking for boxing. It correlates, but it's different. Footwork's different.
If I don't think Dana White would want him, just for the sake of how things are. The PFL seems like they'd be very, very willing to put Deontay Wilder on. And if you match Deontay against a fellow striker that has limited wrestling ability and is going to stand and strike with Deontay, hell yeah, I want to do. Deontay Wilder is a fucking killer. That guy punches
4-ounce gloves. It's got the potential to be nasty. However, just like Frank, he has to. There's a different, and again, this is why I appreciate the art of boxing, just like I appreciate every single martial art that there is, like for its own individuality. Boxing is a one-dimensional sport. If a Golden Gloves boxer leaves the gym and a dude who's the same equivalent level of a kickboxer decides that he wants to fuck with this boxer and can hang to get past the hands, the minute that dude ducks, he's getting kicked in his fucking head. That's why I say boxing is a one-dimensional sport. I can respect it for what it is, much like I said about bare knuckle and bare knuckle MMA. Everything's got its own lane. There's different variations for all these different things coming out, including slap fighting. It's got its own lane. I think Deontay Wilder is going to have to do a lot more than just some MMA training to even contemplate getting in a cage. I think the first time old chicken legs gets racked with a good calf kick or two, I think he's going to reevaluate the priorities in his head right then and there, and I think the whole game changes for him.
I will tell you what. I bet you, just my gut feeling, I bet you see him in a mixed martial arts cage in 2024. Oh, I definitely think it happens.
With the weird hybrid showmanship, promotional, misfit boxing, Saudi Arabia, all that stuff going on in combat sports now. Like I said, there's lanes for everything.
Yeah.
There's already. I mean, you've got full cards of midget wrestling. Like there's an entire segment of people that want to go out and see midget wrestling.
I don't think Deontay Wilder fights Nate Diaz, but I do think you see him in a mixed martial arts cage.
Hold on a second. We'll see if is it lagging over there? Because it's my bad. It's lagging over here, so I don't know. If you don't see nothing pop up on the screen, something should be there.
Do you think
Matt's comments still? There we go.
I don't know. I'm talking to your guy, big screen TV here.
Okay.
Dude, Diaz is a 40-year-old man. Like, it gets more difficult when you get older. You can't really. Well, first of all, Diaz and Deontay Wilder are never going to fight. The size difference is too huge. No athletic commission would do that fight. You're talking a 30, 40-pound difference between two guys. I mean, walking around Nate Diaz is probably 180-ish, 190-ish.
Yeah.
Deontay Wilder's probably 235, 240. Big, athletic, strong dude in his prime. Jiu-jitsu does work. Don't ever label, that jiu-jitsu shit wouldn't work on the street. It wouldn't work on me. Yes, the fuck it would. I promise you, your carotid arteries are located in the same spots as everybody else.
It takes 6. The fascinating thing is the amount of people that say that they can't. I can hold my breath for a minute. You can't choke me. And I'm like, you do realize there's I can hold my breath. I can go underwater for a minute 30, dog. I remember like our gym was down the street when we first came up training as an amateur. Our first gym was down the street from a Gold's Gym. So you'd naturally get the yoked meatheads coming in and like a blue belt waiting to heel hook a white belt. You're just sitting there like on the bats going, oh, this guy's rolling with us tonight. And 15 minutes in, when you ask him why he's huffing and puffing and how much his bench max matters now, that's that's when you get him tested.
I will say this, like I said, jiu-jitsu does work. You're talking about a 41, 42-year-old man by the time this fight would happen, versus a 29, 30, 31, 32, whatever Deontay Wilder is. 6'4", like 4 or 5% body fat, 240 pounds, who's been training to not be submitted. That would be a really, really, really tough fight for Nate Diaz. I don't know that he would take that fight. If I were in his fight camp, I would advise him to avoid that one.
The landscape's different. You don't, again, you're not Deontay Wilder. Who commented? Was it Matt? Deontay Wilder, or no, Deontay Wilder to UFC. If it made sense money wise, you could see like a one-off. That spectacle shit is more PFL's lane now. Dana's pretty much locked into what he's locked in. I think Sean O'Malley spoke on it too.
Listen, I'm going to love with you.
Opportunities and stuff. It's a weird. I don't know.
Dana White would never have that in the UFC in the event of Deontay Wilder winning. It does too much. It just for Dana White's brand, who he's
fighting too.
It does too much. I don't want to say damage, but it makes it look like anybody could try it and anybody could do it, and that's not what Dana White wants to promote. He wants to promote that these are the most skilled athletes in the world. Then no, you couldn't just do it. And I think a lot of uneducated fans would see Deontay Wilder come in and be like, oh, well, anybody could beat those guys up. Just a boxer just came in and did it. It's not worth it. Now the PFL seems more willing to take risks and do stuff like that. So I would love to see Deontay Wilder in MMA. I would just love to see it in the PFL. PFL seems like the more fun league.
It's the spectacle part. It's the Misfits boxing of MMA, essentially, if you will. Like they got the money to dump into it to where they can afford to go down. They gave Francis free, which you've heard two sides of that conversation too. People that never like even ran a business, let alone tried to make sense of anything monetary. Like why? Yeah. Oh, why are they doing it? It makes sense. He's building his stock up. Francis is now the MMA guy that went to boxing after all this bullshit of, Tyron Woodley, Nate Diaz.
Well, that's the thing. That's the thing, though. He is ranked number 10 in the world now, but the only fight we wanted to see was Ngannou versus Fury. I don't want to see Francis Ngannou fight Bjorn Hafnorfison from Norway, who's like ranked number 7 in the world. I don't want to see.
Can you say that again? Can you say it again?
Bjorn or Hafnerson. I don't want to see, I had interest in seeing him fight Francis Ngannou, Now that fight's over, it's done with. Maybe they run it back. I don't no. They already, my bad. They already did the press conference today. I saw Usyk and Fury. That
got pushed to February. Usyk and Fury's in February. If Francis, here's the deal. Much like Jake Paul, and again, no matter how you feel about Jake Paul, I respect the hustle. He's taken the training seriously. He's trying to become a boxer.
Yes,
he's got this weird. The reason people have so much beef with it is because everybody spent the last 30 years watching Bellator, or UFC, Bellator. That's why the PFL I think is so weird for old school MMA people, because of, like I said, I watched it because we had people that we knew, Daryl Horcher and Mike Atero, the guys that we knew and from the regional scene, ex UFC vet Daryl Horcher. The only reason I tuned in, and when I tuned in, it's literally like fucking toilet paper math. Like the scoring, and if you do this, you get after about a half hour, I was like, my guys fought, I'm done. And I just haven't. But Jake Paul, Francis having this weird PFL Saudi connection. People don't realize how big the PFL is in Europe. And that's why, with this whole Bellator fiasco of going on, I feel like they can almost run Bellator. Bellator had some success in Europe. Bellator's problem with the last year or two is Viacom, CBS, Paramount, whoever you want to call it, didn't want to put no money into them. So Bellator's tried and true. It's one of the the OGs. But PFL Europe, their TV, the way their TV deal's structured, we don't get to watch PFL Europe. We don't get to see any of the exciting shit that's going on. And Dan Hardy is kind of head of operations over there. So I know that like it's got to be a seriously decent product. Like I feel like Dan Hardy loves the sport enough and is still involved in it that like it's not going to be watered down and shit like Bellator can be.
They have. I'd have to. I'm going to butcher his name here, but there is a guy from PFL that I like watching. His name is like Cedric Doumbray or something like that.
Yeah.
Oh my God!
People are getting robbed of seeing Cedric Doumbray.
That guy's a killer, man. Fucking killer. But hopefully they figure out a way to promote him. And I don't know. Maybe you know what? Maybe they're just not interested in promoting that in the States. Maybe that's an overseas thing, like one or
well, it has a lot. I think it has a lot to do with their TV deal. I don't quite, but it's something to do with the TV deal because they're doing well over there. Like the PFL events, like I said, I mentioned it the other week.
This will shock the average North American mixed martial arts watcher. There is a whole nother culture of fighters that are very popular overseas. People know them. They are, you know, what John Jones is to us, you know, a guy is there overseas. He's huge in Asia or China or Japan, you know. We get lost in North America because that's where we live, and you know we know the names of fighters that the media puts in our faces. There's a whole thing of mixed martial arts and combat sports across seas with some amazing. That Cedric Doumbé guy, man. He had some high level fight about 2 months ago. I said, all right, let me check this guy out. I tuned in, man. He finished this guy in like 13 seconds. And I'm like, I know it's hard to promote to somebody and be like, oh yeah, he's high level MMA. Like this guy, his striking.
Been involved in these conversations.
It reminds me of one.
Conversations.
It reminds me of when I watched Anderson Silva fight Chris Lieben. I was like, oh, this is just one of these overseas guys that like the way Silva moved and the way that Joe Rogan was talking about him and the way that he like knocked Chris Lieben out. Chris was like the crippler. This Chris Lieben, you know, iron chin, blah, 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 blah. Silva comes in and just wipes the fucking mat with this guy. I'm thinking to myself, I remember watching the fight and I'm like, this is like, these guys where'd this guy come from? Anderson the Spider Silva, who's that? You know, and he's one of the greatest guys, you know, to ever do the sport. Yeah, overseas, they have these fighters that you don't even know about. So I'll be interested to see if I don't think the PFL is going to gain a ton of ground over here in the United States. That's just my opinion. Maybe they just stick with trying to promote that and do their thing overseas, make it big overseas.
I mean, they have, like I said, they have the spectacle stuff covered. They got the freedom to move Jake around. They got the freedom to move Francis around. They got some decent fighters. Like I feel for the guys like fighting for Bellator right now. Like it's like
those are gimmick fights though. It's like, can you build a brand off that? You know, it's like, yeah, you can toss me a fight 2 or 3 times a year, some sideshow spectacle fight where, you know, Dana White is trying to build a brand where he's trying to create like top ranked guys and champions and fights are meaningful. You know, Deontay Wilder versus Nate Diaz. What the hell is that going to do for anybody anywhere? No. Besides, I mean, as a fan, it'd be fun to watch. But in the grand landscape,
it's not even fun to watch. Like watching Nate's performance against Jake, and I firmly feel like,
oh yeah, that wasn't the best.
He wasn't invested in it. Show up, get the bag, and leave. And again, there is age, there is miles on them tires, but
and then
the effort that he put forth, I was like, are you fucking serious? I've been a Diaz fan for years.
Well, and then they're my 2 favorite fighters of all time. Nick and Nate Diaz. Oh, there's Riley. What's up, Riley? No, Nick and Nate Diaz are my 2 favorite fighters of all time. I even saw something where they were like Jake Paul and Nate Diaz too. For who? For what? For who? For what? I don't want to see that shit.
That bullshit. Nobody wants to.
Okay, yeah. But I'm saying, could you imagine somebody would even take the time out of even if it was a joke? Can you imagine somebody took the time out of their day to make that meme? I'm just like, oh God, no, I would never want to see that ever. You know, I saw it for the first time, and like it would literally be Nate Diaz just showing up to be a sparring partner for a couple rounds and make like 12 million or whatever the hell he's going to make. You know, no, I would never want to see that again. Like I said, the whole PFL thing, it'll be interesting to see what the game plan is.
Yeah,
dude, I know for a fact Bellator and PFL are hemorrhaging money. Like they couldn't do a pay-per-view. You know, they couldn't do a pay-per-view.
I mean, if you look at Ryan summed it up best when he was on with us last week. Shout out again, Ryan, 247 Fighting Championships out of Pittsburgh. You got to bleed money. PFL has deep enough pockets to bleed money.
With the goal of eventually turning a profit or working towards something. You're not just throwing shows to lose money. I don't think anybody does that. That's not what you approach investors with. It's like, hey, we're gonna put on a bunch of like fights for a bunch of guys. We're gonna lose a ton of money, but they're gonna talk a lot of shit on the internet. It's gonna be great.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's not.
Yeah,
you can't.
600,000 worldwide pay-per-view buys for Ngannou, like 70-something thousand, I think, or 69,000 in the U.S.
Well, I'll tell you what. Another thing, and we'll get to it on another show, another time. The world of Captain Jack Sparrow pirating is. Listen, I'm going to call a spade. I always will. I don't promote anything. I don't advocate anything. People are stealing pay-per-views via streams, and I'm not going to mention a single one because I don't want to promote. Shut up.
No, is it like what is it? Pirating?
Yeah.
Where they like sail a ship. That's where they sail a ship and they go to the other ship, like Somalians or something.
Yep. And there's
pirating?
Goonies on it. There's Goonies on it.
Yeah, it's hidden in the cove. I remember. Okay, I know what you're talking about now.
So I will tell you this: a lot more people watched Ngannou and Fury than 70,000, but the recorded rate is 70,000 buys. So, yeah. What a dick! What a dickhead! I like it. But
no, hold on. I gotta address this because if not, I'm gonna have to address it on a phone call later when this motherfucker calls me. Ty, I'm an OG Nate Diaz fan. Nate Diaz showed up to the Jake Paul fight with the bag secured. All he had to he already showed up. Money was there. Nate Diaz did not perform in typical Nate Diaz fashion, so it's not.
He's 41 fucking years old. Like,
and that's to be expected. That's to be expected. But it's Nate fucking Diaz, willing to die on his shield any day of the fucking week. I'll fight anybody, anywhere, anytime. That didn't look like I'll fight anybody, anywhere, anytime. Nate, that looked like the same way I looked if I would have got paid that much. The same way I looked when that Shevchenko parlay fucked up. Like the money, he was already spending the money.
Yeah, for $1 million, I will fight anybody, anywhere, anytime. It doesn't like that's not a thing. But he listen, you're 40. No, he's tough. He's gonna stand in there and take his hits. A lot of these young kids, I would say the mixed martial arts crowd of 18 through 36, you don't realize that 40 comes one day. And dude, Nate Diaz could have poured his all into that fight camp. He wasn't going to beat a guy in his 20s with unlimited money and resources to train as much as he wanted. Nate Diaz could have trained any way he wanted. He wasn't going to beat Jake Paul. You know, you're talking a 41-year-old guy versus what was Jake, 27, 28 years old in his prime.
Yeah, he wasn't. He never well. And to his defense, everybody sat there and talked shit. You're fighting all these washed up. You're fighting this, that, and the third. He fought Tommy Fury. He lost. Now he's fighting. Who the fuck is this guy? But who the fuck is this guy is how you work your way up through the boxing ranks. So again, he knows his hustle. He knows what he's doing.
I'll be honest with you. Who the fuck is this guy is probably going to beat him. I'll give you that now. Who the fuck is this guy? Andre?
Who the fuck is this guy? If you looked at the record, if you looked at their opponent's record, there was some stat, because you know me in numbers, like with stats. There was some obscure stat that said like his opponent's, who the fuck is this guy's opponent's record was like 34-82 or something. Like that was his record of his opponents previous to fighting Jake.
I will have to look more into it because I don't want to talk on something I don't know. But Jake's gonna have a problem with the top 15 guys in the world, as a lot of guys would, you know. But Jake is taking it seriously. He's trying to do his best. He's not treating it like a joke. The guy does train. He trains a lot. You know, he's putting his all into it. And like I said, the guy has money and time to do that. So he's going to be like, he's not the worst pro boxer you've ever seen. Tommy Fury's not the worst pro boxer you've ever seen. You know, he did okay. Listen, he's not going to be a world champion, but like, why the fuck else if your goal, I'm not going to shit on Jake Paul. If your goal is to be a world champion, fucking give it your all. Put into it, man. If you believe in yourself and you know, That doesn't mean you're going to
People
get there.
forget. People forget at the end of the day. For those of you guys that have been watching the last couple of weeks, Riley Cadish was on with us. Shout out to Karma. There's no difference in Riley Cadish from Pennsylvania and Jake Paul from Ohio.
Yeah,
We're
not at all.
wanting to go on this path. The difference is Jake has put in enough work in his circle to get himself to a level where he can just be like, hey, it's me. I'm fighting Tommy Fury.
Mm-hmm.
Or, hey, it's me. I'm going to do some, like, he's now fighting a legitimate boxer who has.
Well, that's the thing. People, even when Jake was doing it, they're like, oh, he's not a real boxer. What's a real boxer? Dude, I know guys from my hometown here that are 3-3 professionally. They train every day. They run every day. They eat a certain way every day. They put everything they have into it. They just happen to be 3-3. That doesn't mean you're not a real pro boxer. That doesn't mean that you're not giving it your all. You're living the professional lifestyle. You know, people have this misconception. They're like, oh, well, you're only a real pro boxer if you're in the top 20 in your weight class. That's not a thing. You know, that's not a thing at all. It's like,
and the same people that don't understand the concept that you can be a pro fighter and get paid and be a professional for X amount of years and never step foot in the UFC.
100%.
But these are also the same people. These are also the same people that when you talk to, well, what has Paul Felder done in his career? And he's not. I've been watching Paul Felder fight at CFFC for as long as Paul Felder was fighting. You know what I'm saying? Like, we've seen what Paul Felder can do.
Well, it's like even the guest shout out Jared Gordon. Jared Gordon fought Anthony Morrison down in Philadelphia. Anthony Morrison was like 13-13 at the time or something like that. That's a guy with 26 pro fights. You know, for somebody to look me dead in the face and be like, oh, well, Anthony Morrison's not a real fighter. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, what the fuck are you talking about? To have 26 fights and be 13-13, yeah, that's a real fucking pro fighter. That's a guy with a lot of experience he's had a lot of good camps, a lot of bad camps, a lot of good fights, a lot of bad fights. Like, for somebody to look at Jake Paul, and I've never understood that, and we can address it another time if we want, but for somebody to be like, oh, he's not a real fighter. He didn't be like, he kind of is, man. He's like 8-1. You go 8-1 in pro boxing. I don't care who you beat. You come back to me when you're 8-1. Because you know what? It's probably not going to happen. Like, because, you know what I mean? It's like winning professional fights is fucking hard, man. You know, so, but yeah, that's my little rant on Jake Paul. So
yeah, well, we're way over, so let's get into.
Feeling
no,
good.
It's all good. I don't give a shit. I got nothing but time. Shout out to the 2 people, one of which is probably Christy that's still tuned in. We've had a bunch of viewers tonight, in and out. Appreciate all the comments from everybody else. I don't know who's watching on YouTube. Ty's definitely watching from YouTube, so he can comment.
Hey, I'm gonna do something special tonight just to go with the flow. All right.
All right.
No referent tonight. Everything was pretty good this week. You always say what's pissed me off in combat sports, other than a bunch of people giving the referee shit on the fucking Alex Pereira fight where Yuri did. You know what? Fuck it. I will referent. Go ahead. Give me my intro.
No, I think let's take a look.
Oh, we're doing this one?
I don't.
All right.
Yeah, we're hardwired in, and I don't know what the fuck's going on with this lagging on that. I'm gonna have to sort this out. Might be these damn kids sucking up all the Wi-Fi.
Let's just do this main card real quick.
Yeah, where's the main card?
No, you're right. You scroll up. Talbot, Pinero,
top
right
to bottom.
There. Medic, real tough nosed guy. I would definitely, he's gonna win that fight. I don't know what the odds are. Oh, my bad. No, never mind. Scratch it. That is not an official play. Did they change this fight last minute?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, matter of fact, I did hear something about that. This fight got changed.
I'm like, who the fuck is this guy?
Somebody dropped that. What the fuck was it? Yeah, actually, there's been some stuff because apparently, remember the other week we were looking forward and we're like, oh, everything's stacked up there, just slamming shit in there. The Shanghai card that was supposed to take place in Shanghai is now taking place, I think, at the Apex.
Yeah. No, Meek, what the fuck? Meek, Tubek, or Lobby? That sounds like you're going to get your ass beat. Oh, my God. Yeah, he's like Mongolian, but Muslim, but like, no, you're gonna get your ass beat, son. Now I'll stay
Yeah, I
away
don't
from that.
know.
I'll stay away from that fight. What's his record?
I think I'm pretty sure. Here's what I think with this, and this is where I'm thinking. So I just said this, and I had a light bulb moment. If they canceled that, if something happened and they're moving or canceling that China card,
Mm-hmm.
this is the type of name you would see on a China card. Let me pull
What's
it up
that guy?
here.
Yeah, what's that guy's record?
I should be able to go into Tapology. If not, I'll check Sherdog quick. We got time. Hey, look,
Yeah,
there's Jared Gordon.
friend of the show, Jared Gordon.
11-1.
Somebody beat that guy? Jesus.
Yeah, I'm just looking for fun words to try and make you pronounce on the screen. According to Tapology, pro welterweight, so he fought. Let's see where he fought. Oh, okay. He fought on an LFA card before. He's an LFA vet. That makes sense. LFA. 1, 2,
Yeah, I picked that guy.
3.
I don't know anything else about the fight. I picked that guy.
The LFA. Hold on. I mean, there's a lot of we'll go with him.
Yeah,
We'll
I picked that guy.
LFA Russian Kyrgyzstan. We'll go with that.
Yeah, that guy just looks like he's gonna beat somebody up. All right, Ribas Panero. Obviously, that's a coin fight. The odds kind of show it. I'm not real versed in either one of their background, but I won't make an official pick in that fight. Whoever wins it wins it.
I'll go with Ribas.
Peyton Talbot versus Nick Aguirre. That Peyton Talbot guy, he really impressed on the impressed on the Contender Series.
Yeah,
that kid has a bright future. What is that? minus 800? Can't take it at minus 800.
No.
But yeah, Peyton Talbot's going to win some fights. He's probably going to be a bad bet because he has been so heavily touted from the very beginning. So there's always going to be money influencing his name. So yeah, that's a future star. Hooper versus Levitt. Those are I like them both. I really do. Those are two of the most dainty UFC fighters I've ever seen in my life. I like both guys, though. I'd give a lean toward Chase Hooper, though, just because of the youth. I think Chase Hooper's coming into his own. Levitt, not bad, but
I'm going to go with Levitt on this one. I think the wrestling from Levitt.
He could.
I think the wrestling from Levitt makes a difference. So we'll keep the receipt on that. I could be wrong.
I like Jordan Levitt, a teammate of Sean Strickland, by the way. Knowing that guy's in fight camp with Sean Strickland just makes me laugh.
That dynamic has to be exceptionally funny to watch.
That's Batman and Robin if I've ever seen it.
I guarantee you, at the end of the day, he throws all if they have that type of relationship and they train together and they have that type of relationship, I'd be willing to bet that Sean affectionately calls him racial or homophobic slurs, and it's like pet names and
very possibly. Okay. Best bet of the night. This is an official play. Michael Morales by knockout. That guy is the truth. That guy is the truth.
Bets.
You will see what I mean by the way he moves, by the way he throws, and he goes for all 3 rounds. So just if Jake Matthews, not a bad fighter, if Jake Matthews even were to take him down in the first round and grind out some boring.
Figure out.
No, look at Morales' track record.
I will in a second. I just want to see one thing.
Yep.
Okay, yeah, he did. That's who I thought it was. That's the guy that lost against Matt Semmelsberger, and Semmelsberger threw everything in the kitchen sink at him.
Wait till he gets a hold of Morales. Check out Morales' track record.
Yeah, I'm gonna take a look here.
Morales by knockout and he comes with it all 3 rounds. And you don't have to worry about, is he going to hit him down and try and submit him? This guy's game plan is to punch and punch like hard.
I feel like he camps with somebody that I saw something the other day. That's why I was trying to look, and it was bothering me. I go, you know me.
Jake Matthews, to me,
Weird
Jake
side
Matthews'
bias.
only chance is to take Michael Morales down and try and grind on him. I'm willing to bet that Michael Morales is not going to let that happen. That guy's the truth, man.
Okay. Where did he fight before?
Not sure. This guy throws hard. He throws heat. Like, it's.
Yeah, I know. I feel like I've seen him somewhere. It's gonna irritate me now. Ecuador.
He's one of those guys that when you see somebody take him down in the first round, if that guy made it back to his feet, you see the
National
energy.
champion in Muay Thai and Ecuador MMA champion. That's fun fact, guys.
Yeah, once you see this guy, if Matthews decides to stand with him while he's fresh, that's a huge mistake. He could do it, and it would be good for your bets.
Yeah.
But if Matthews stands with him right away, that's a mistake. If Matthews takes him down and Morales gets back up, you're going to see a body language out of Morales that, like, oh my God, I got you. Like, he's going to know it's a matter of time. Michael Morales is by knockout is an official play.
Bill's Bets. Brought to you by Point of Punches Apparel and 717 Surplus.
And then we will go to the main event, and then let's get the hell out of here, because this is our longest show ever, which is fine.
Close,
I'm feeling good, rolling good.
All good.
I'm feeling good, rolling good. Brendan All-In Allen. I refereed him versus Tom Breeze down at UFC Norfolk. He's top 7, top 5 in the world. I don't know if he's in that top 5 row of killers, but he beats Paul Craig. Brendan Allen's striking is real sharp. If and when he chooses to take Paul Craig down, Paul Craig's not just going to throw up some triangle and Brendan's going to fall into it. Now, the odds reflect that. Minus 425. That's nothing to write home about. It's not like I'm some Nostradamus seeing the future. Brendan Allen is the better fighter. Yeah, Brendan Allen should win that one. But the official play, Mike Morales by knockout /TKO.
And if all 12 dogs win on Saturday, I'll be a millionaire.
You know what?
I'll be a 3/4 millionaire after taxes, but I'll be a millionaire.
You know what? Just for shits and giggles, I am gonna bet $1 every UFC event. I'm gonna bet $1 on the all underdog parlay. It's gonna happen.
I don't know if I would go 12. Knowing what I know now, I would have stuck to 6 and had a better chance of increasing my odds and probably ended up with $500,000. But on any given Saturday, bro.
It's just for fun, dude. Do it. I'll do it. I'll do it for 10 cents. I'll take $100,000 for a nickel or a dime. You know.
Hey, they keep giving me these free casino credits, so it's whatever. Bonus bets. Shout out to ESPN Bets. That's my preferred platform of choice. Well, we're out of here. Well, somebody just stopped back in, so I hate to be like, hey. So if you're in the comments, you got a question or you got a comment.
Oh yeah, we'll address it real quick. Is he asking something? If you're back in the comments,
somebody just popped up, and I don't want to be. I hate to be like that guy that like I tuned into your live and you fuckers got off. So if you're in the call, you guys drop a comment in if you want to jump in, say anything interactive.
Hit me with
rambling here at this point.
Hit me with a referendum at this point. I got something for last weekend.
All right. Well,
Pull No Punches Apparel. Lead me in.
We got to do the housekeeping, bro. We picked back up. Everybody left when Jared left. No, we had some people in here. Wow, we appreciate them. It's lagging. I don't know what it's going to do, but guys, for the entire month of November, proud partner of the Fight Show, Pull No Punches Apparel, is donating $10 from this design. You have a choice. You have a chance. Christy just said shout out to Bill's ass. $10. Sorry, guys. Proud partner of the Fight Show, Pull No Punches Apparel. $10 from this design. Every tank tee or hoodie sold for their You Have a Chance, or You Have a Choice and a Chance shirt. We donated to Movember, a great nonprofit in support of men's mental health awareness. Check them out at pullnopunchesapparel.com for a huge selection of tees, tanks, hoodies, hats, koozies, flannels, You name it, they got it, with some cool designs for men and women. Check them out. They've showed us love. They support us, support them. And go buy You Have a Choice and a Chance tee, hat, or hoodie, and $10 will be donated to Movember. So check them out. And without further ado, as soon as the lag stops, and I don't understand why. I know why, because the hard line's not working. That's why. Ref Rant with Bill Bookwalter, brought to you again by Point of Punches Apparel. Without further ado, take it away, Bill.
I'll keep this one short and sweet this weekend. Christy and I were down at Aruga's watching Alex Pereira versus Yuri Prohaska. The stoppage was controversial, but guys, it wasn't. Mark Goddard had blocked the camera, blah, 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 yada, yada, yada. The Twitter was going off. Social media was going off. Yuri Prohaska was locked between Alex Pereira's legs with his hands. Had the whole thing locked. Pereira was landing elbows on the temple, and the ref sees that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You see that. And then all of a sudden, Goddard walks into the camera view, so you can't really see it. When you watch alternate,
I'm going to cut you off quick. I posted it annex to the Ref Rant. I posted this video on my page. Go ahead and check it out. You could see the hands clearly drop. I dropped it. I slow-moed it down. You see his shoulder drop. You see all the stuff that we as fans don't look at, that I've been raging on these cucks for a fucking week in these groups. You see all the things that you guys are trained to look for, that I, as a more than educated fan, am now trained myself to look for. Like, you see the hands drop. You see the shoulder slump. You see his head go into the body, and you see his body posture change. Yuri was out. He said he was out.
We call it a
not open for debate.
We call it a death drop. Even if it was for half a second. Even if it was for half a second, it counts. As a referee, that's all you see. You see a guy defending, like going for the double leg takedown. A guy gets elbowed on the side of his temple, cleared. Like, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 elbows. And then you see the hands disconnect and drop, and the guy lean forward. We call it a death slump. All right, if you don't brace yourself, or you lose the ability to control your bodily motions for even half a second, you're knocked out. That's why your arms don't come up to defend shit. That's why they drop to their sides. I didn't see it at first, so I was upset with the stoppage at first. I was like, oh my God, how could you stop that? It's a world title fight. Knocked out is knocked out. It doesn't matter if it's a world title fight. It doesn't matter anything else. And I know we love to give referees shit. I love to give referees shit. I was a referee at one point, you know. Give these guys the benefit of the doubt. I'm not saying bad calls don't happen, but I saw all of Twitter just light up, all of social media go at this guy, and they're like, oh, blah, 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 blah. And they're going left and right at this guy, Mark Goddard. And it turns out, guys, he was right. And we were all wrong. So, I like being humble. I love admitting when I'm wrong. I'm wrong often in this life, a lot of times. I pop off at the mouth before I even know what I'm talking about sometimes. And I'm gonna work on getting better at that. But give these refs the benefit of the doubt before you crucify, you know. Turns out a couple million of us were wrong, and Mark Goddard, who was sitting right there looking right at it, turns out he was right. So, but I was popping off at the mouth to Christie before they even went to the decision. Turns out the ref was right and I was wrong. So that's my ref rant for the week, man. Give these guys the benefit of the doubt. They know what they're doing more than you think.
With that being said, if you use the word casual on Facebook, you're a cuck.
Cuck boy.
Shout out to Jared Gordon for stopping by with us. We appreciate everybody that tuned in, dropped a comment.
Dude, I'm a huge fan of Jared Gordon, man. I'm hoping he gets the next fight, man. I'm gonna buy some t-shirts from the dude. I'll send him some pictures of me and Christy and I chilling around in the living room next pay-per-view fight he's on. I might even send you one too. It's Christmas spirit.
As long as you got pants on, buddy, you can send me whatever picture you want.
There's no guarantees, man. Stop asking for the world.
The best ass in Pennsylvania MMA. The second most famous ass in Pennsylvania MMA, everybody. Bill's ass. All right, we're out. We appreciate everybody stopped in. We appreciate Jared Gordon. Stay tuned for news from him first quarter.
JaredFlashGordon.com, man. Go support the guy. Buy a t-shirt, man.
Yep. And till next week, guys. We're working on something. We'll see. Oh, somebody dropped a comment real quick before we leave. It's just Christy.
Like, yeah, I want ABC's 1, 2, 3 tonight.
All right, guys. Fight Show 8. We appreciate you stopping in. We're out.
That was fun. Let's do it again.
Always. Why is it not ending?